Progrit Racing presents Show Us Your Tips here with a midweek preview looking to Sandown and the Kenzo track on a Wednesday afternoon. After a big weekend, Beaver, where I think every single horse we potted won. So that was a good start for the week. But how'd you pull up after that?
It was a tough weekend. A tough weekend, Daggy. They were winning without names, and at any old price, it was certainly a difficult weekend for the punters. And there was a few that we potted, were sort of tipped and were a bit dubious about. Starting in Sydney, Espiona gone off the list.
Yeah, I don't know if maybe it's just a dry tracker, but I'm done with it. I didn't have anything to do with that race, but done with that. The Masked Crusader's gone.
Lighthouse was really good.
Lighthouse was good.
It shows that it is a good horse. Fangirl, disappointing.
She's extreme. Won well, and probably sets up well for Saturday, as does the horse that beat at home.
Yeah, I think She's Extreme was really good because if you go back and look at the track, it probably did something that no other horse on the day did. They tended to come up the fence. Ellsberg was disappointing. Just Folk got up the inside. She'll Be 66 proved us wrong. That's an unbelievable turnaround. I don't even know what to make of that. Couldn't win a midway, then beats Home Nature Strip and won easy on the weekend. Super easy.
How good are all those sprinters going? We've had Shelby 66 beat him. We've had a horse come over from New Zealand and beat him at 100-1. So sprinters are going well in Australia.
Yeah, they're flying, aren't they? So Sydney was a bit disappointing there with some of those horses that expected to run well. Magic, the Gumps bubble burst there. Not sure it really handled the track conditions, but I think it was a perfect example of where they got to middle of the track, wanted to run on, and they couldn't, and up the inside beat them.
I think it was, I don't know if it was necessarily like fence, but it was up the inside, I thought, and hard to make ground.
And on pace.
Yeah, definitely hard to make ground. And I thought Dewis was a good win. I thought that was
Dewis was an outstanding win.
And we probably could have given Will Keane, I think it over, probably could have made a better case for that. But anyway.
Yeah, on the Saturday morning, I was watching one of the shows on racing.com, and they analysed the run of Dewis against Very Elegant first up. And when you went back and looked at it, you went, geez, that was a good run. Got stuck on the fence, got chopped out, pulled out, and hit the line really hard. So it was, you could certainly, if you go back and look at that and study your last starts, you certainly could have found that very easily. So no, it was good. What else happened in Melbourne? Some blowouts.
I had to blank it out. Kissing Off a Cheeks was good after we potted it.
We potted it.
Very good. Well, very good time. And
we questioned the Ascot form, and it showed that was pretty good form.
So I think you can follow. I think Dewis and Kiss is the main ones for. I'll be following out of the meeting. Kissing Off a Cheeks. For now, I'd have to think. Now it's been so long ago. They can both win again, so that'd be the main ones I'll take out of the meeting there, and probably not want to touch anything out of the Newmarket again.
No,
but we've got the Slipper and we've got the All-Star Mile this week, so we'll preview that Thursday night as usual. Nothing else to follow for you.
Nothing else to follow from me, mate. It was more putting a line through a few.
Yeah, I think so too. At least for this prep, or at least until we get dry tracks.
Yep, that's right.
So we'll see what happens there, but let's head to Sandown first. We're at the Hillside track where the rail moves back into the true good track, hopefully making ground again. It's been out wider and wider the last few weeks. We kick off with a 2-year-old 1,000-metre race to start the day. And how do you want to kick us off?
Oh, look, I didn't really have too much here. 3 of the first 4 in the market are all first starters. Hard to get a line on them here, so I essentially stayed out. What do you got?
I was sort of I feel dirty, but I was with Overshady. I like the fact it's had a 1,000-metre jump out and was strongish through the line, where the other chance in the market was an inconclusive trial. Then ran okay ridden out in the 800-metre trial, but Just feels a bit short to me. So I was going with the second favourite over Shady, but it's both these first probably 3 races on the card. We're going to know more after the race. So it's a bit of a learning day with the 17 races across 2 days. This will set up for some of our winter form, I think, but we'll winter, summer, what month are we in? Winter. And then and we'll learn more. But yeah, with the Spendthrift colours in the first there. Race 2 was a 1300 metre maiden, similar sort of race as I just looked through the scratchings. Did you have any better opinion?
No, I was a bit the same here. I think really hard to get a line on here. Rippert's Delight is the raced one that's had the fair few starts and had okay form, but hasn't won, and so I'm a bit unsure about that. Yeah, again, I really couldn't get a good line on this. Only the fact that a lot of Cheeks had been well fancied in its early 3 starts last preparation. A couple of those were okay. So if I had to pick something, it'd be it. But this is an open field with
I feel like
chances.
Yeah, I did watch all the jump outs I could, and I couldn't really stamp anything on the other side. So we might just move on from there. We get the benchmark 64 land for a lot of the rest of this card. Seguso's back from some much stronger stuff here, taking on the Hawks horse with a breakthrough win. By all rights, Seguso probably is hard to beat here, but feels dirty to me. So I was just leaning the other way with no real confidence. Again, tricky. What were you thinking?
Yeah, I went for Seguso based on the fact that it's got the 3 kilo claim. It's back in grade here. The Hawks horse won well last start and could be promising, but Seguso for me, I think it can win.
Race 4 is a mile benchmark 64. And another story of the day is we've got, I think in 4 races, we've got internationals popping up with no exposure. This has had the run here. It's $1.55 after scratchings, which I think is a bit ridiculous, but I think it's a horse to beat. Was okay on debut, fitter for this, and there's just nothing else here for it to beat. So I've got it on top. No, doesn't take a genius to work that out, Beaver, but are you going any other way?
No, I'm not going any other way. I kind of liked Grid before the scratchings. I thought it'd be improved from its first up run, and yeah, the market suggests it should be winning this.
Race 5, 1800 metre benchmark 64. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm going for the top weight here. Righteous Mischief. I think it's got some form again in better company than this. If you go back a couple of starts, and it only finished 3.5 lengths behind American Angel at Caulfield. Then before that, ran a placing at Moonee Valley against a decent field, and then had a nice win before that over at Morphettville. So I think it can bounce back into the winners list here today. And again, the 3 kilo claim gets it in nicely at the weights. Again, I don't see too many chances out of the top 2, but yeah, I'm going the second favourite here.
2 chances. I'm flipping him around. I like the way Laybuy rode the pace at the Valley. Even after they passed it, he sort of followed on quite well. And I think it sets up here, leader back in grade. It's going to get control of this race, and I don't think there's too much pace here. So I'm just tipping it that way from Righteous Mischief, but they're the 2 chances. Benchmark 78, another 1800 metre race here. Have you had enough of Yukon yet?
Yeah, I've had enough.
I'm
not going to. I'm going to actually go for Tara Mansour, second up here. I think now it gets second run under its belt here. It was first up over 2,000, which is hard to do, but it was only a couple of lengths behind Crystal Pegasus, who's flying at the moment, and Risso, who ran second, and come out and killed him in the last at Sydney on the weekend. So I think that's a good form line for this. And then if you go back last preparation, it ran a couple of lengths behind Will John Smoking Romans at Caulfield, and won a couple of other races quite nicely. So I think if it's fit enough, it can run well here.
Well, all right, this is the perfect race for Yukon, but it's now 5 starts in and keeps running second, and I've got a feeling it might do the same again. So you've already made the case for Tara Mansour. That was the way I was looking, and I'm forgiving Zach's last start. Its first up run win was quite nice. Went to town and chased on the leaders track, chased Tuvalu and Gentleman Roy. That's fair form. Coming back here, if we can swoop by this time of the day, I think they're going to be the two in the right part of the track that's going to run on and give Yukon headaches again. But I was just going 4 from 2 there. Race 7, the 2,400 meters race of the day, where again, Point Nepean resumes. Had the one run at Geelong. It was in the market. Didn't do a lot. It's now had the time out and come back here. If it's going anywhere in life, it should win this. So it's going on top from Perennial, who I tip every time, back in grade from where it's been, a bit of a claim. Outside gate will run on and as one at the track. Wasn't it Sandown? Yeah. Has run second at the track. So back in grade here, sets up all right. So they're the two I'll be looking to play here. What have you thought?
Yeah, I've gone with Point Nepean as well, for similar reasons as yourself. It only had the one start here, and that was first up. I think that was the Geelong Cup. And yeah, it was in the market. I think it might have started favourite or second favourite. I think there was the two internationals that were well fancied. Look, it's resuming here over the 2,400. This is not a tough affair, and you're right, if it's going anywhere in life, I don't want to win this.
Race 8, 1,000 metre, 64. I think this isn't a bad betting race here because I think the favourite will run well. It was very impressive on debut. Trial was okay, ridden out. Have it on top. The other horse I'm going to back, and I've just noticed it's halved its price overnight, was Miss Arizona. I thought it was a really good win at Pakenham. It was $20 when I did the form. I think it's now $11 according to this market I'm looking at here. It's going to give you a nice sight from that gate if we're swooping by the middle of the day. Could even roll forward and just get in a running line. So they were the two I was looking at, but there are other chances. It's a deep race. What have you thought?
Yeah, it is a deep race, and there is a lot of chances here in this field. I've gone for the top weight, Morning Melody, around $10 mark. It was a bit disappointing first up. It was well fancied and finished 4th at 4. Which was slightly disappointing. But going back last preparation, it ran a few lengths behind Ceradas and Larkspur Run at Moonee Valley, and prior to that had a nice win at Cranbourne, beating Renova. So I think it's got a little bit of ability. This gets Oliver on board in what's a fairly open race. I think he can run really well at the price. Lost your sound, man.
Helps if I turn my mute button off. How are we finishing the last? It's a benchmark 70 over 1,000.
Yeah, last race is another interesting race with plenty of chances, but I've stuck with the favourite, Forbidden City. Got caught wide last start in that race won by Lavish Girl, the stakes race, Argentia. They're quality horses. Prior to that, came off a really nice win at Sandown Lakeside. Hillside, and won by about 8 lengths. So it gets back into midweek company here. That's always a good pointer for me, and I think it's probably one of the better bets of the day.
Yep, nothing more to add. On top for me, for all those reasons. The other two chances, Asymmetrical, run well again, and Ocean's Gens has not done a lot wrong at this prep. For ProGetRacing.com.au, do you have a best and value at Hillside?
Yeah, my best is in the last race 9, number 12, Forbidden City. And my value bet is in race 8, number 1, Morning Melody.
I'm going to make my best Laybuy in the staying race there. And my value bet, Miss Arizona for the Moody Yard. It's, I said, halved its price, but you still get double figures for that. As we head to Sydney, where the rail is in the 2 metre mark, apparently a heavy 10, which I'm a bit surprised at, but that's been downgraded overnight. There's an inspection going on right now, so hopefully we're not wasting our time here, Beaver. But let's get through it. Another card with some resumers and a bit of talent on the program. Kick off with an 1,100 metre maiden to start the day, where I had given plenty of looks at the scratching, but now it's out. I've got Hold On Honey on top, debuted behind Kalos, was okay. Has been okay since, right part of the track to start at Kenzo early on, I think, and hard to beat. What have you done here?
Oh, look, Yeah, look, if I had to go for anything, Cold on Honey would have been my pick resuming here. Outside of that, I really couldn't find too much to beat it. So, yeah, that's where I was starting the day.
Race 2, a 1400 meter maiden. 3 scratchings here. What have you done?
Yeah, another difficult affair here, but I've stuck with Naval Seal from the Waller stable. I did with a couple of scratching here. Legal Choice come out, which is one of the Waller horses. I thought its first up run was pretty good at Newcastle. Set up here, McDonald's aboard. That certainly helps. Handled the heavy track. Hard to beat, yeah.
Yeah, agree. I probably won't be betting just because I'm not sure what to do with the import, 3-year-old import with Nash on top from the Wally Yard, untrialed. Yeah, all a few questions there, but Offered Debut Naval Seal will run well here. 1500 meter maiden is race 3, where I've got Stalking on top. My only concern is the New South Wales maps have it going back, but I think from gate 10, I'm hoping Nash pushes forward. If it does, I think it's hard to beat. Nice enough resumption. It wasn't in the best part of the track at Kembla either on returning, and I think can run well here. From the second favourite, Runard, who was good, just getting nabbed at Kembla as well. But I think they're the 2 chances. What have you made of them?
Yeah, look, I think Stalking's going to be super hard to beat at this. It charged home at Kembla Grange last start over the 1300 and going back last preparation, ran in the big races down in Melbourne over some distance. I think the step up to 1550 is right up its alley. Nash can get it into a good spot here, and yeah, I'm quite keen on it.
Really? Race 4 is the 1550 72. What do you do with Vigorous Flow off that win? Do you trust it?
Well, I think you can. I think it was a pretty good win. I know it was long odds, but you know they can pop up, and then those types of horses can back up and run well again after those types of wins again. This is back in class here. From what it's raced in its previous preparation, Snowden is very good at getting these horses up and going. There should be some pace on here. Small field and should handle the track.
Yeah, I've got it on top. I flipped and flopped a bit, but look, the form's been frank. Bethencourt won well since, and I've actually found it again later, so I'm sort of trusting it.
Yes.
And from Akahira, who's back in grade and for the first time, the weakest field it's probably ever been in, and might give you a chance just against the Waterhouse runner, which perhaps to my detriment because they're flying at the moment. Race 5, 1400 meter 78, where Samut bolted in first up. Comes here, looks like it's with scratchings been backed with those scratchings in there. It's going to get the perfect run here and be very hard to beat. And my watch horse on the day was probably Nick Our Spur, who did some good stuff last prep. And the Mar stable's pretty good at flipping these horses, New South Wales, and getting a result. But an interesting race. All these horses have a bit of talent.
Yeah, I thought the same as you. I've gone exactly the same way. I've stuck with the impressive win of Samut last start, but a big watch on Nick Our Spur, who was well fancied in some decent races down in Melbourne in its previous preparation. Probably the downside is Pipe hasn't struck a blow in Sydney.
He's starting to get
there. And yeah, so probably just need to see it first up and see how it goes. The horse might have a bit of ability.
Yeah. Race 6, 800 meters, 72. I mentioned Bethencourt earlier, and I found it on top here. I thought that was a nice enough win at Canterbury. I'm hoping can roll forward and find a spot in the running line. Nash generally won't be going too far back. And if it does get even luck, I think it's going to be hard to beat despite the weight, because I couldn't really find anything else I want to talk about, to be honest. Is the main reason. What have you done?
Yeah, I thought Bethencourt was certainly hard to beat, but I've gone with Arnicore. It raced in Saturday Company last preparation. Didn't show much first up at Nowra, but has since trialled and trialled quite well. It ran in races against and was fancied back October last year against the likes of Halal and only finished a couple of lengths behind those. That's good form lines for a race like this. So at the price, I think it can run really well.
So race 7 is the 1100 metre at 72. I've got Drill on top. J-Mac, James Cummings, will roll forward. I wouldn't worry too much about that Newcastle first up on a heavy thing, because strange things just happen in those 900 metre races at Newcastle. It does have some nice wins in town, and I think can give you a side here. Have you lined these guys up?
Yeah, my tip has been tips here have been affected by the scratchings, but I did have Jewel as a major player, and again around the $5 mark, I think it presents decent enough value in this race against a pretty open market. Cummings and McDonald, lethal combination. It can certainly run well, and I've got it on top.
Yeah, we wrap up the day benchmark 72, 1100 with. Or even with scratchings, a big field. How are you taking us home? This is a good race as well.
Yeah, this is a good race as well. I've settled on, again, the Cummings stable, this time with Nash Royal, board with Laura Lynn. Think it'll be further improved by the first up run. It was odds on first up at $1.60 and was slightly disappointing. So they obviously thought it was a good chance there. The amount of times that odds on pops don't disappoint a bit first up, and then second up they get a bit of a price and come out and win is quite often. So at the price here, about $6.50. A fair few scratching, so it gets a bit of relief from the widest gate. So, and by this time of the day, that might be the place to be. So I'm expecting Laura Lynn to run really well.
I agree. I have got on top as well. You've summed it up pretty well. And the other bet I have in the race, I might say on Stormborn, coming back to Kenzo, can potentially run a bit better than where it was at Canterbury there. But yeah, Laurelin has been in some good races. Yeah, just forget about first up. Hopefully Nash just pushes forward and it can be impressive like it was last prep. But a good day at Kenzo. Hopefully we are racing. Do you have a best in value for us?
Yeah, my best comes up in race 3, number 1, Stalking. And my value bet comes up in the last, race 8, number 14, Laura Lynn.
Yeah, it's awkward because I've got the same numbers. Blue colours for the win today. Hopefully they're going a bit better than they have been in the last few weeks. But without tipping, Samuta's my best, which is now odds on. Yeah, I think Stalking's going to give you a nice sight as well. Anything up north?
Yeah, I did find a couple up north. It was pretty light on up there today, but I did come up with 2 that I liked. Race 5, number 5, Street Dancer. I thought it would be super hard to beat. And then my other pick that I liked was race 7, number 2, Preach. I think that'll be hard to beat.
You can do that for us, Beaver. Good job, mate. I'll speak to you Thursday night for our Golden Slipper and All-Star Mile preview, whatever that is, 4 Group 1s and a several $1 million race. So looking forward to a big day of racing there. But good luck this afternoon, partners. Hopefully we can build the bank a little bit, and we'll talk to everyone soon.